Itai Tick, welcome to the Honest Report podcast.
Hi, Robert. Thank you so much. It's amazing to be with you on this kind of opportunity.
The pleasure is all ours. So, you're a very busy person. You're in the military reserves. You're an ordained rabbi. You run an organization that helps underprivileged youth in the city. But really, it's the last 2.5 years where everything's really come together. Tell us a little bit about sort of how October 7th has affected you and your community in the city of Dimona.
Okay. First of all, I'll just begin that I joined this town, Dimona. I came from a different part from Israel. I grew up in a town called Ra'anana. Some people are familiar with it. A lot of American and Canadian people who decided to make Aliyah to Israel. That's a town that they usually preferred to settle in. And I grew up as a son of American parents who made Aliyah. I didn't really know much geographically from the north or the south of Israel, a little bit from high school tours. But my real exposure was through my role in the IDF when I enlisted when I was 20 years old as a commander in a unit called Sayeret Golani, where I got to explore the north. And eventually, when I met my wife, who's originally from Dimona, this town where we live right now, we decided to return to her upbringing and settle here to really make a social difference and an impact in the Negev where we are. So that's just a general background. So get back to the question of October 7th. Like all Israeli society, we were caught by surprise. We had a missile attack at 6 a.m., which woke us up. And when you hear sirens in the town where I live in Dimona, which is, even though it's in the Negev is the south of Israel, it's pretty far from the Gaza Strip. And then we were fired by missiles. We understood that this is a serious war. So as a role, the role that I have in the IDF as an officer with a regular unit, a unit that is operating 24/7, not a reservist like me, I joined them immediately. I got in my car on Shabbat. It was Simchat Torah and 7th of October, and joined the forces in the battlefield immediately, leaving my wife and 7 children at home. You were asking a little bit about the role we played as an organization here before. So maybe I'll just mention that in a nutshell.
So let me stop you there. I mean, what did you do at this point? I mean, you just packed up and you went in your car. I mean, what happened there? Help us understand a little bit about what your role precisely was.
So I was with a unit. I won't say exactly which unit, for security reasons, but a very high classified unit of elite commando fighters. That's my background as well, as a fighter. And I joined them as a rabbi in the IDF, which is more of an adult role. I'm a reservist, but I was with young boys who were fighting in the front lines. And our main position as rabbis during war is to identify all of the casualties of war. And in this case of October 7th, these were civilians. Of course, I must say, very sadly, I have many students who fell in battle. I had a student who was missing for a week, and no one knew what happened to him. And that's part of the role, is to try to find clues and evidence to identify each and every individual who fell either in battle or, in that case, as civilians on the massive attack of October 7th. So that was a major role in the front lines. The first stage was, of course, combat, just fighting and defending the people that were still there and trying to create some kind of stronghold of our borders. And that took a couple of weeks. And then eventually it was more an official role inside of the maneuvering inside of Gaza for several months, over 8 months, as a reservist. And as I mentioned, I have a wife and 7 children at home, which basically they're also they have a tremendous role as any reservist is a family backing them up, and they were really also with us in the front lines in many ways.
So you take all this experience and you're working for this organization now that helps underprivileged youth. Help us understand the city of Dimona a little bit. I mean, this is what in Israel they call development town. It was really built to house new immigrants from the Middle East. It's still relatively low on Israel's socioeconomic scale. But give us a picture of what life is like in this city in the desert.
Dimona is truly a treasure in the heart of Israel, central Negev, in the heart of the Negev, in the desert, overlooking Jordan and above the Dead Sea, 600 meters of altitude, desert climate, amazing sceneries. We have some of the most amazing sightseeing in the area, natural well springs in the middle of the desert, an amazing place to explore and to really feel Israeli life. And the people here are amazing as well. We have a mixture here in society of Moroccan immigrants that came back in the 50s, and a very large Indian population, which I'm actually very involved with personally, Indian Jews that came here also as well, Russian immigrants. We have Hebrews that came from Chicago. That are also a very interesting crowd. Americans, they're not Jewish, that actually joined Dimona, our population. And we also have Bedouins surrounding us. Some of them live amongst us, and we live in peace and harmony. At least we try to, with all our neighbors and friends. And I think one of the most amazing traits that I found is that there's some kind of nature called the desert nature, and I call it in Hebrew, it's called Ain Tova, just to have a positive attitude and approach and outlook on each other. And I truly feel that's something that Dimona is blessed with. The people here are amazing. Life is different, as you mentioned, from Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, very high pace and high demands in society in all aspects of life. Here, things are more relaxed. Here, things are in a different pace. But there's tremendous advancement in the past few years, especially where we live. A lot of development, a lot of thinking ahead, strategy wise, looking at Israel, where we're going to be in the next 20, 30 years. The Negev is definitely going to be the next major investment when it comes to Israel in general. And Dimona has already doubled its size in the past few years. A lot of building, a lot of new neighborhoods, and just a lot of development that's going on here. A lot of job opportunities, a lot of young couples that are coming here to seek um, life that has to do a lot with values and meaning and being part of Israeli society. We have a very large community that operates inside of Dimona. People like me, my wife, people that I know, my friends, who basically volunteer and dedicate their life living in the Negev by assisting and bringing from their natural talents and traits that they have to move Israel ahead and uplift society and push Dimona to even a higher level that I described.
So, of course, with growth come challenges. Tell us about what that means then, some of the growing pains that are happening in this city in the desert of Dimona.
So basically, my father-in-law, his name is Arav David Turgeman, Rabbi David Turgeman. He was born here in Dimona, his native homeland, and he moved on in life and built himself in the center of Israel and Jerusalem, and at a certain point decided to come back and really make a tremendous social impact here in his hometown. Basically, The programs that we're involved in are spread out all over the town, working with troubled youth, working with elderly, working with people with special needs, a lot of different operations that we have underneath Mifalot. Education is probably the biggest one. My father-in-law established 7 different educational institutions, which are considered some of the best in Israel. A lot of young people that come from all over the country to be part of this amazing community, make a social impact, and also give and also receive at the same time. And just share a small story. Basically, a lot of our boys, as I mentioned, when they leave and they move on in life from the education that they received here, they lead major roles in Israeli society, and I think that in many ways Dimona is kind of like this amazing opportunity for growth for people that seek to just touch true values of life and be in a sense of giving and not just receiving. Basically, our programs, as I mentioned, are spread out all over the town. And after 30 years of working and really being integrated in Israeli society, we really see the results of the social impact that you can really measure it by less poverty, more job opportunities, more social involvement. You see people that if you would look 30 years ago and where they're striving to and their expectations in life and job opportunities and higher education opportunities, it's a whole different ball game right now. Working a lot on developing high tech and more advanced opportunities also for youth. Dimona here in the local high school has won some of the world competitions that have to do with robotics and development, which is something that in many ways you would think Dimona would always be the underdog. Kids here who grew up, basically with a lot of simplicity in life, not with all the different opportunities that a boy that lives in Tel Aviv or Ra'anana, where I grew up, or Jerusalem has. And you find that actually when people, when they're living a simple life, they cherish the basics and they know how to make the most out of everything. And I think, truthfully, I think the future of Israel is going to come through the Negev, and especially through Dimona. We're the largest town in the area, 40,000 residents, as opposed to other towns that are much less. And we're really making a social impact all over the Negev and not just in Dimona, including army bases that are around us in various ways.
So tell us a little bit about the recent war with Iran. Certainly, there were some notable rocket attacks in Israel's south. There was one example in the city of Arad where 100 people were injured, but incredibly nobody died. Tell us about what the war was like in your city.
So the same night that Arad was attacked, we had the first attack before. Basically, that Shabbat, this was 7 weeks ago, we had 12 strike zones all over Dimona, but one was very significant. One was very serious. 500-kilogram warhead that fell in the center of town in the center of a residential area, really destroying an entire neighborhood. 36 buildings, over 100 private homes were completely destroyed. Up until now, people today are homeless. Basically, their home was destroyed, and waiting to see what the next moves are going to be. And our organization immediately opened an emergency 24/7 emergency room to, first of all, understand who are the people who are misplaced. Do we have any people that are missing? A lot of people that were injured. We had a tremendous miracle that no one was killed from that direct hit. And I'll just share one little story that if the missile would have hit a couple of meters to the right, there was a shelter there, underground shelter, that a lot of people were inside, and the whole thing would have collapsed and people either would have been killed on the spot or been trapped in some kind of death trap. Tremendous miracles we've experienced. And I think, as I mentioned earlier, the unity and the sense of helping each other out. We had youth volunteers immediately volunteering 24/7, people from all over Israel coming, helping with clothing and food, and in major ways, and a tremendous support also from all over the world with this incident. And we really felt, as much as we had a tremendous tragedy and a lot of destruction here, and there's going to be a lot of rebuilding, we feel really embraced by everyone. So this is also an opportunity to say thank you for anyone who's been involved in supporting and helping Dimona.
Well, it's fascinating to hear the stories from the front lines, and very appreciative for your time today. Thank you very much, Itai Tick.
Thank you. And if anyone who's listening wants to connect and explore, Dimona's on the map, and you could look up mifalotdimona.com and contact us. Amazing opportunities of just exploring a whole new part of Israel. And when you discover a new part of Israel, really discovering a new part in yourself. So thank you for this amazing opportunity. And Motzei Lag BaOmer Sameach.